Hello and welcome back to the Fortnightly Q&A. My name's Lumin and right now, time for some questions and some answers. Before I get started, however, I just want to mention that I did not forget about the Fan Friday thing. I actually said I was going to try and put something together a week after the previous Q&A, but I'm trying to figure something else out with it. It seems like a lot of people want to see it, okay? And the general outcry that came from down in the comments section was that there needs to be a little bit more variety on the channel, and that, you know, sometimes the slightly longer Let's Plays, if they are most of what goes up on the channel, they make things a bit stale, and I agree. I completely agree. So something like that, something like the Fan Friday thing would definitely allow for more variety, but I think I want to implement it in a slightly different way, and at least for now, it might take a little bit of time to get that going, but it's still going to work in sort of the same way. Now, I would like to, with something like that, include viewers in it, include you guys in it, include my subscribers, or anyone that's interested, basically, in the games that I'm playing and everything else. But right now, as it stands, it's not so easy. Without streaming, it's not something I can really do. And because of that, it'll probably change when we move. So when I can stream, then I will be able to mix things up a whole lot more and make it much more interesting and interactive for you guys. So look forward to that. But for now, look forward to something slightly different. I'm still trying to just figure out the final details of it, and then I'll probably start it up soon. And I think it's going to be good. Okay, I think it'll work. And along with it, I want to start up a couple of other series that should diversify things a little bit, so don't even worry about it. I am not completely happy with where the channel is right now, and I think that I have solutions for the problems that I'm facing. So that's it. Good. Now I'm going to start with the one question that I've been asked so much on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Are you going to cover Witcher 3? This is from PD Games, this specific one. There were a bunch of others. I want to, but at the same time, I'm scared of something like that. Funny, I spoke to a couple of other YouTubers about this recently, and they're like, yeah, well, it's always super tempting to jump on the bandwagon to start something like this up, and, you know, hey, our viewers are going to love it. But that won't last. It'll get great views for the first 3 episodes, and then after that, phew, I don't know. But actually, what I'm going to base it on, and I might have a bit more space on the channel soon. I'll get into that soon enough. There are some questions here that will tell you about that. But another thing is, I think it's going to basically just be, if I get a review copy, I'll do something to the game. If I don't, I probably won't. I don't know. Like, if I want to just play it myself, I'll wait for it to go on special or something like that. Like, I'm, as you know, not the biggest fan. I'm not a huge fan of the Witcher series. I absolutely love how Witcher 3 looks, and it's apparently an accessible point of entry into the series. So if you don't know about The Witcher, if you don't know about the world, the characters in it, and all the rest, then you're okay. You're okay just jumping into The Witcher 3. It's a modern game. You know, it'll look great. Of course, it'll play good. Whatever. Okay, it's a good place to start on your Witcher journey. But I don't know. So actually, what I was trying to say was, if I get a review copy, the chances are I'll do something with it. I don't know if I'll do a full Let's Play. I don't know if people will watch a full Let's Play. You know, I started Pillars of Eternity a while ago. I was super consistent with the first 25 to 30 episodes, and it didn't really get good views. It didn't really draw that much attention. Some people obviously enjoyed it a lot, but most were sort of like, you know, meh. I'll check this out for a couple of episodes, and then that's that. I don't usually like stopping Let's Plays or anything like that. I don't like just saying, okay, it's not getting enough views, I'm done with it. So, I don't know, the chances are I probably won't do that with Pillars of Eternity, even though it's what I should be doing from a business standpoint. It takes up too much of my time to be worth it for the amount that I get back for it, but we'll see. Okay, so it's something that I'm incredibly, right now, weary of starting up. another Let's Play, even if it's a AAA game, even if it's something that a lot of people want to see. But hey, if I do get a review copy, which I'm not sure I will, I think a lot of European people are unsure about this at the moment, because the people that we usually work with for stuff like this, they are not getting codes for this. They directed us at Bandai Namco or something in Europe, and then like trying to get in contact with those people is just impossible. So I've mailed a bunch of people, I'm waiting, and I'll see. I'll see. Okay. Paul Decker. One more question. Who are your favorite streamers from Hearthstone or other games? What do you watch on Twitch or YouTube in your own time? Good question. I have been asked this before. Currently, I don't even watch that much. Like, on Twitch, I jump on Twitch TV every now and then. I look like who the top streamers are in all the different categories. Like, what's going on in Hearthstone, who's playing World of Warcraft, why League of Legends has so many viewers. I don't understand Twitch really well just yet, but the only person I've watched a bunch over the past month or so, and I don't even think a bunch is a good word to use, like a little bit here and there, is Lyric. I'm assuming you all know who he is, because he seems to be the biggest streamer on Twitch TV, and I enjoy his commentary. I enjoy the fact that he plays pretty much everything. He seems to play a lot of like sandboxy survival type games, you know, like DayZ, H1Z1, Rust, that Arma 3, like the modded version of it. He plays GTA Online. He plays a whole bunch of stuff. He just plays a whole bunch of stuff, and he's entertaining. So on Twitch TV, like that's pretty much it. I don't watch a lot of Twitch streams. I know I should, probably, because I should probably see how it's done or how to do it or whatever, but, you know. On YouTube, I watch most of the Polaris people. Like, I'm subscribed to a lot of people, but I don't go in and watch each and every single video that pops up in my feed. So, like, all the Polaris people are part of my subscriptions. Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox, Krendorf, Force. I watch videos here and there selectively. I watch a couple of smaller channels that are obviously always fun. I'll probably talk about this in the Tales of Lumin episode at some point, like what I'm currently watching, that kind of thing, because it's something that I'd like to prepare for. Maybe spotlight a couple of smaller channels that I'm watching and so on and so forth, but I try not to watch too much, because I try to instead be busy with things that are more productive. I don't know. I've not been great at that recently, but yeah, that's what I try to do. Shrinko. Hello Lumen. Top 5 MMORPGs. That's difficult. It's like really difficult. World of Warcraft. No! EVE Online's number 1. Okay. That's it. Bam. Straight up putting that there. Sorry, Blizzard employees, if you're watching. Sorry, World of Warcraft players, if you're watching. I just think that EVE is such a different and special experience that it deserves that top spot. EVE Online it's something else. If you don't know it, check it out. You won't be disappointed until you play it, and then you might be. But then if you keep playing, then I think it'll start making sense, and you'll start... It's amazing. It's just like people in there are so engrossed by this other world that they're living in that it's their lives. It's the one MMO that has withstood the test of time alongside World of Warcraft, but this one, EVE Online, has constantly been growing. I don't think there's ever been a point where EVE Online was in decline. Every time they release a new expansion or whatever, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. The game keeps evolving. I think that there's been much more change in EVE Online than in any other MMO ever. So that's number 1. For many other reasons as well. Number 2, World of Warcraft. I love the game. It's great. It's super fun. It's amazing. And number 3 to 5, I don't know. Other MMOs. Others. I would mention like an old MMO. One that I maybe enjoyed back in its heyday or whatever. But I don't think that really makes sense. So I suppose for 3, I'd probably say Guild Wars 2, because it still gives you quite a lot for the money that you spend on it. It's a good game. Okay, and they're going to release an expansion for it soon. It's probably going to be even a better game. I don't know. Okay, I just think that EVE Online, World of Warcraft are the two that made the biggest impressions on me. Okay, there are other games that I've played. There are other games that I think are good, but not good enough to throw up there in a top 5. Okay? So I'll give you a top 3 instead. Bam. Navina Vice. I saw people asking you before if you're going to start a guild in ESO. I think it's a great way to engage the community in your gaming experience and record videos with guild members doing PvP stuff, PvE stuff, or dungeons, or whatever. So, I don't know if I'm going to keep playing ESO. I was basically just testing the waters. I wanted to jump back in there and see what's changed. I wanted to record a couple of videos to see if there was a lot of interest. And there was some interest, definitely. But what I think I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to jump into MMOs as they release in, do a mini-series on them, and then basically at that point, after I've released this mini-series, see if there's enough interest to keep going. Now, I'm a little late with ESO. Sure, Tamriel Unlimited was recently and stuff, but this was a learning experience for me, and I did discover that this kind of recipe works the way I covered ESO the first time around, and it's something that I want to implement in the future, but I don't know if I'm going to be sticking with ESO, because I do feel like it's the kind of game that, especially if I want to make a guild in it, I'd have to spend more time in. And currently, I'm already playing World of Warcraft. I spend a lot of time in Hearthstone. I've been playing Heroes of the Storm recently. Yes, all of those are Blizzard games. It's an unfortunate situation for a lot of people, I guess, because some people don't like the fact that I play mostly Blizzard games, but hey, those are the games that I enjoy right now. And I don't know if I have space for ESO on that roster. I don't know if I have space for another guild, because we've got a guild in World of Warcraft. There's actually a comment coming up at some point here. Maybe I'll put that one in next. But I've got a guild in World of Warcraft, and I'm already kind of neglecting that. Like, I'm not spending enough time doing things with other people. We have like a little core raid group that we raid with twice a week, and that's great and all, but the greater guild gets left out. So I think that ideally I'd be able to do more stuff with the guild, organize more events, just basically be more involved in World of Warcraft and the guild that I've got there. And if I had to go start one up in ESO, I don't think I'd be able to manage it. Don't think I'd be able to give it enough attention. So I don't know. I have not purchased Elder Scrolls Online for myself. The videos that you saw were all recorded on the... I know this is probably hard to hear, but they were all recorded on the weekend that the game was free. So, I don't know. Again, this is the kind of thing that I want to hear back from you guys about. Same goes for what I said about Witcher. Straight up, like, tell me. Tell me, because it's very important that I hear from you guys. Next, this is still from Navina Vice. Have you looked at the cast for the Warcraft movie? Do you think the actors match the roles? I was disappointed in Anduin Lothar because I don't see that the actor works as well in the part as some others. What are your expectations from the upcoming movie? Are you excited for the Assassin's Creed movie that's also on the way for 2016? Assassin's Creed, tentatively excited, like, could be okay, could be terrible, who even knows. As for Warcraft and the actors that they put in there, I honestly think the actor they chose for Lothar is not bad. And listen, you're going to have to see the actor in the movie playing the part. Okay? You're going to have to see that before you can pass judgment. Just putting that out there. Now, I unfortunately, did not get to see the little preview that they showed at BlizzCon. I was there. I just didn't manage to squeeze it in somehow. But I have heard from people that from what they've seen of the characters and how they look and stuff in the movie, it's pretty great. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And I think that most of the roles that they've already got cast do work. But maybe I just don't have enough knowledge of these characters to know. Maybe you guys, or Navina Vice here specifically, knows better and knows that, this guy just can't work for the role. It's possible. Look, it's possible. I am not a huge World of Warcraft or Warcraft in general lore buff. I've played all the games, I've seen all there is to see, but I haven't read all the books. I don't know all the backstories, I don't know everything that's going on. But for me, as someone who's, let's just say, a bit more casual, it looks like it could work. So yeah, excited. Ferdy Tanshi. Do you plan or do you also play against... Oh, do you plan on or do you also play against other Hearthstone fans from the channel? I'm mostly on the US. This is a bit difficult. Sorry, I'm sucking at the reading, or maybe Ferdy here sucked at the typing. Doesn't matter. From the Netherlands, but find the US server better. Well, the US server is apparently easier. From what I've heard, you have an easier time climbing the ladder on the US server. I'd love to play against you sometime and learn from the best in real time. Wow. Wow. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm the best. Don't know if I'm anywhere near the best. So, this is again the kind of thing that I want to say, like, when I can stream, I'll be playing against people all the time. Right now, it's a bit difficult. Like, it's tough for me to just say, okay, now I'm going to dedicate some time to playing against people, and then I have to add people to my friends list, and after I play, I have to remove them again, because Hearthstone doesn't allow you to put yourself on busy. Thanks, Blizzard. I don't know why that's still not a thing. You can't block whispers and stuff when you're busy playing, so I can't put people on my friends list. I have very few real ID friends, I have very few friends in Hearthstone, I have very few friends in general, and just mainly because the more I add, the more risk there is. I don't know. Okay? But it's something that I want to do. I want to play against people at some point. I'm on the EU server though. I am. Oh, and I kind of forgot about, here's the comment that I'm getting up to now. World of Warcraft Guild, Zipao, I don't know how to pronounce that. He's actually, if I'm not mistaken, Night Style in our guild. He left a comment saying that we have a World of Warcraft guild. It's called Tales of Lumin currently. We were considering changing the name, but we couldn't think of another name. Just because we have a guild. We are recruiting raiders and socials and casuals and whatever else, you know. Doesn't matter what you do. We are obviously recruiting. We're on Defias Brotherhood EU. I'm going to make a video about this at some point. I'm going to promote the guild a little bit more, and as we near like the time that we're going to move, I will probably spend even more time in World of Warcraft and preparing for that kind of thing, because when we do move and when I can stream, then I'll probably be streaming World of Warcraft, doing things with other people in game. It'll be fun, it'll be great, but we do have a guild. We are recruiting. I think we still could do with another healer in our raid group. We could always do with some more DPS. A DPS that can off-tank would be nice. Like, a player that has a proper tank in off-spec, that would be great. I guess it's just good mentioning that. Defias Brotherhood EU is where we're at. It's a great server. It's currently the most balanced server on EU with a Horde and Alliance. It's a PvP server though. Okay, so that's the thing. But it's there. Okay, and if you want to get invited to the guild, just go online, whisper anyone that's currently playing. They could probably sort you out. And there you are. General Fancy Pants. Hey Lumin. What do you think about the new Star Wars Battlefront game, if anything? Have you played Battlefront 1 and 2? I have not played Battlefront 1 and 2. I'm extremely excited about the new Battlefront game. It looks so good. And I have, as you guys know, been watching the Star Wars movies, so it's kind of got me all worked up. I even managed to locate the first couple of seasons of Clone Wars, the cartoon from Cartoon Network. I don't know if that's worth watching. Maybe one of you guys can tell me. Is it worth watching? I'm riding the Star Wars hype wave right now. I finished watching all 6 movies, so any and all extra Star Wars stimulation is good. The game is going to be fun, I'm sure of that. I'm going to play it. Arodin. What do you think about Steam's failed attempt to add paid mods to Steam for Skyrim? Have there been any game mods that you think would have been worth paying for? Or do you think you would ever pay to play a mod for a game? So, I personally am not a big fan of paying for mods, but I am a big fan of supporting people who spend a lot of time and effort on making mods for games. I mean, okay, if there's a game that I play and play, and there's this mod for it that's really well put together and like super impressive, then yes, definitely consider paying for it. I have nothing against that. I think that Steam went about it the wrong way, and you know, I think that Steam's workshop is currently just better suited to donations. Sure, it probably doesn't really get much attention. People probably don't donate all that often, but it's tough. Like, even the early access system right now, oh god, don't get me started on that. Like, there have been some real messes in early access and Greenlight and all that other stuff. Steam is just on the whole, really chaotic at the moment, and I'm not a big fan of it. Like, I go on Steam and I just don't recognize it anymore. There's so much junk on there. Like, seriously, so much crap that I would never even consider playing. I don't know. I appreciate the idea that they had, but I think they rushed into it. And then the community bullied them into submission. It was crazy. It was crazy. Seriously. But, man, some of the add-ons and stuff, or mods or whatever that they've made for Skyrim have been so impressive that the people that made them, they went places because of it. They got hired, they got noticed, basically. And I feel like that alone is good enough. That alone is motivation for people to spend time making mods, spend time working on stuff like that. But yes, if there's more, if there's a monetary system in place for compensation for them, that would be great too. Okay, Steam just didn't do it right the first time. John Ruralt. Hey Lumin, have you ever considered trying to find a game to make content about in the long term? I feel as if focusing your content on one main game, with other games mixed in as you see fit, would be a good way to generate more consistent viewers. Just a thought. Also, Fan Friday sounds like a fun thing. At least until you get to a place where you can stream. There you go. Okay, so yes, I have actually been focusing long term on Hearthstone. Hearthstone gets good views. That's great. And I wanted to make the 1 minute guides a staple of the channel, like a long term thing as well. But I mentioned before that I got some bad news about it, that they were not going to be directly supported in any way, shape, or form by Blizzard for various reasons. Basically what I said before in my problem with 1 minute guides video, I was like 100% spot on. My reasoning was spot on there, I was told. And that kind of sucks. But I'm working on some stuff, and I am going to try and keep things, at least the core of the channel, more focused on 1 or 2 games. You'll see. I have plans. The Dave Chapters. Hey Lumin, have you ever tried doing a speed run? Even if it was just for curiosity or fun. No. No. I don't know. I don't like competitive PvE all that much. That's pretty much what a speed run is. I'm not a big fan of that. I was very competitive in my youth when it came to the games that I played, be it Warcraft or Quake or Counter-Strike or whatever else. Okay, it was something that I did, and I never really wanted to play against the PC, you know. I wanted to play against other players, outwit, outsmart, outgun other players. I never really saw a reason to try and speedrun a game. I appreciate the effort that goes into speedruns sometime, but it's not my kind of thing. It's not my scene. Kleber. Hey Lumin, my question is, what's your favorite raid boss thus far in Warlords of Draenor and why? Good question. I actually thought about this, and I came to the conclusion that I liked Blackhand the most. That's from Blackrock Foundry. And the reason was mainly because, firstly, it's a pretty exciting boss. Visually, it's quite impressive. And always, I tend to enjoy the end bosses a little bit more now. Sure, I could say, you know, I like this one or that one more because they were easier. Oh, Darmak is great because it's such an easy boss. You kill it one shot every time. Thogar is pretty fun, you know. The trains are great, but, you know, whatever, okay? There are lots of other reasons that I could choose other bosses, but I like Blackhand because it's incredibly challenging and kind of tough to learn, but it's also pretty quick. Like, I prefer boss fights that don't take 20 minutes. There are some like that. Imperator from Heimel was just not fun. Now, Blackhand was, for us specifically, like on Heroic, kind of tough to learn. And it took us a little bit of time in each phase. Well, quite a lot of time in each phase to get the hang of it. And then, as we got the hang of it, we could really feel the progress, making things easier. Like, we started getting better and better, and slowly but surely that percentage bar filled, and we got it to 100%. We managed to memorize everything in the boss fight. We managed to just put all the pieces together in every try. Then things just became easier, but it's still the kind of fight that, firstly, rewards good gear. You need to have good mechanics on it, and you can still polish it off quickly. if you know your stuff and you, well, had done it before. It's a good fight. I like it. And again, I like the fact that it can be pretty quick. It can be a quick fight, but it can also be really punishing if you make a big mistake or whatever. I mean, the siege engines, for instance, in Phase 2, they are always something that can be a problem. No matter how seasoned the vets are in your group, no matter how many times you've done it, they can still spit fire all over the room. They can still ruin things for you. Those impales are still always a problem when you don't hit them on the siege tank. People can get impaled. Sure, the healers can keep them up, but then there's that little snowball effect that starts up. You know, the healer's focusing too much there, then the tank gets one-shotted by something or whatever because there was no focus on us. You know, Blackhand is a good fight. I enjoyed it a lot, and I feel like everyone in it, tanks, DPS, and healers, have a big enough part to play to make it exciting or at least rewarding for those roles. I like it. Blackhand. EC Ventor. How are you coping with the channel growth stalling? Is it me or has your enthusiasm decreased a bit in your videos? Not talking TOL or Q&As because there's a noticeable... in these it's noticeable because you're being honest. Man, you really need to force through the move to Europe. Not just for streaming, but to give you a fresh start. But from what you say, it seems like you're at least a year away from completing the move. Aren't you? Well, I'll answer the last part first. We can't really say just yet. It could just be a couple of months. We're waiting for, well, the government. Like, we need to get papers back so we can finish the process of getting passports and citizenship and all that other stuff. And once that's done, well, things will be set in motion. As for how I'm coping, I'm okay. I'm trying to figure things out with the channel and trying to decide on what I want to do long term going forward. I've got so many great ideas. I'm working on something right now that I'm incredibly proud of, and you guys should see it within the next week or two. I'm hoping, at least. So maybe by the time the next Q&A goes up, it should be up on the channel. I am coping by trying to find a way to make things work. Okay, and it's going to work out. I can tell you that. As for my enthusiasm, well, I did say before I was trying to be more honest in all my videos, and sometimes one's just not as enthusiastic. I don't know. That's the thing, I guess. But yeah, I'm trying to be more me in my videos, and if that does show, if sometimes I'm not quite as bright and chipper, then that's just too bad. Pepper Yum. You must have played Hearthstone on your phone by now. What are your thoughts on the changes they've made, and do you prefer it over playing on the PC? I've not played it on my phone because I have an iPhone 4. There it is. It's old. It's still in mint condition. It's like perfect. Not a scratch on it. But it's an iPhone 4. It doesn't support the game. It would not be able to run it anyway. I tried it on Helene's phone, which is an iPhone 4S, and it was terrible. Doesn't work. I think you need a newer phone for it. But I like the changes they've made. I think that I would spend a lot of time playing it on phone. I kind of prefer the tablet version just because you got the whole game board and more room and slightly bigger and everything. But if I had a nice new phone, if I had like an iPhone 6 Plus or whatever with a slightly bigger screen that could run it perfectly smoothly, I'd be all over it. I love what they've done with it. I like how they compressed the UI and stuff. It looks good. Paul Decker. I was wondering what you do for a living. What job do you have other than making videos for us viewers? Oh, great videos for us viewers. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. This is pretty much it. I've explained this many, many times, but there were actually 3 questions this week about that for some reason, so I thought I'd answer one of them. I earn dollars, thus it is easier for me to actually make a living with this. We don't pay rent here. We're living in a house that my parents used to live in. They moved to a farm not too far away from here, and we are currently inhabiting the house. We don't pay them any rent. Our cost of living in South Africa is very low, and again, I earn dollars converted into rands. It's a lot. Dollars are like gold. Currently, the exchange rate is very favorable. I am not making a lot of money. Thus, I'm not going to be able to like go out and buy Witcher 3. I didn't buy myself GTA 5 because I, didn't want to spend the $60 on it. We live humbly, but we do okay. And that's it. I'm trying to make this work. You know, there's obviously a lot more going on in my day-to-day life than just YouTube videos, but that's it for now. Morten Ordegaard. I don't know how to say that name, but that's good enough. Did you see Elon Musk's battery announcement? Would think that's something that you might want. Yes, Elon Musk, the South African. He created something that could save South Africa from the Dark Ages. And it costs something silly like 50,000 Rand here. That's the tentative pricing that we've seen. Yes, that would be great. No, it wouldn't be worth it for us right now because we're considering moving. It would have been amazing if we could have it right now and didn't have to pay for it. There you go. But it's amazing. Like, that is such a great thing for like many, many parts of the world. Especially if he and his big company could start like sending them out to lesser privileged people. That battery could probably power an entire village somewhere in Africa. Anyway. Tristan Vasco. Hey Lumin, I recently went back to Hearthstone. I quit before Curse of Naxxramas. So I don't have the cards to make the 1 minute guide decks or anything good. Any tips on how I can probably get back into Hearthstone? And also, did you watch the Daredevil TV series? No, I didn't watch it. My lovely wife has watched most of them. She has 1 episode left. She said it's really good. It looked a little hardcore for my taste, so I didn't go ahead and watch that. There's another question. Yeah, there you go. It's coming up about TV series. So I'll tell you about what I'm watching in that. As for Hearthstone, how you can get back, go on hearthhead.com or whatever. Search for decks that don't cost a lot. Make one of them. Or play Arena. Because, like, if you get good at Arena, it can sustain you. Like, you can become, like, really, really good at it. Make a lot of gold. And get, like, a fully golden collection. That's it. Watch a couple of guides. Watch Trump stream. I think Trump is very good at explaining what he does. And a couple of other people too, of course. But I say just choose a class maybe. Stick with it. Go look for some cheap decks. And then just play and have fun. Like, I can't tell you that you must do this or must do that. I'm actually playing a Grim Patron Warrior deck right now. I hate it. But I'm playing it because I might do a 1 minute guide on it. And that's cheap. It's like 700 dust or something if you own Blackrock Mountain. 700 dust. Super cheap. Well worth checking out. There you go. 2 Waffle Gaming. Lumin, would you consider playing FTL again? There's a lot of new content you haven't checked out. Also, the Fan Friday idea sounds like a great thing. So, FTL is something that's popped up multiple times already. Lots of people have told me that I should check it out and I should be trying the new version of it. The Enhanced Edition or Advanced Edition or whatever it's called. I will probably try it out at some point. I haven't played it in many moons. I don't know. I actually said that this is the one game, if I go to like an iPad or something one day, that I'd want to play on that. But I will probably jump in there at some point. I haven't for a while even thought of touching it. But I will. Okay, I will. As for making videos on it, I don't know. I mean, I can't say yet. 7 clues. Hey Lumin. Are there any TV shows or movies that you have watched or are watching that you really enjoy? So recently I watched Jupiter Ascending. Was very cool. I enjoyed it. Nice sci-fi. I love sci-fi. I'm a sucker for sci-fi, so that was great. I enjoyed all the Star Wars movies, as I said. Highly recommend them. I am currently watching Arrow and Flash. I think they're both ending soon. They're pretty good. I enjoy them. Before that, I watched a whole bunch of other stuff. I really enjoyed The 100 as well. Really, really enjoyed that. Was incredibly good. But, nah. That's about it. I'm looking forward to Longmire coming back closer to the end of the year. But I will again at some point do another video wherein I talk about, like, the series and movies and stuff that I've been watching. Because I have been watching stuff. I watched American Sniper recently as well. It was not quite as good. Too serious. I like the sniping parts, but, you know, the rest was a bit serious. Oh, and we've been watching Orphan Black as well, which is an older series. It's started its 3rd season recently. That's been fun, too. Oh, and obviously Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, always good. Chronic Ninja. Hi, Lumin, I really enjoyed watching your vlogs, the Nero, and your cooking videos. Are you ever going to bring videos like that back again? I was actually considering doing a cooking video soon. I've been making some amazing desserts. So maybe. As for the vlogs with Nero, Nero's right here. So consider this a vlog with Nero. I don't know. I should probably. Because I know a lot of people enjoyed those, so I'll see about it. Talizora Naraya. My question for you, Lumin, is as follows. If you could create a custom companion character for the next Mass Effect game, how would you do it? Oh, I thought it was would you do it. I was about to say no, because I kind of like the characters that they give you. I like the backstories and all that. What would they look like, etc.? Example, race and gender, personality, Paragon Renegade. What kind of skills would they have? Example, soldier, engineer, infiltrator. Your answers must suit the Mass Effect universe to make sense. Hope you're doing well. So, I always like healer companions. Okay, I like a companion that can buff me up and heal me. So I think like engineer suits that quite well. It would obviously be a female. Okay. Because I like them ladies in my squad. And race. Want Nasari? I don't know. I can't think of like what I'd want. I wouldn't mind like a Deus Ex-y kind of half human, half androidy, cyborgy type thing, but that would be classified as human. That would be kind of cool, but it would obviously have to be a female, and she would have to be a Paragon. I've never played a game like Mass Effect as a Renegade. Never in my life. I always go the goody two-shoes route. Playing Dragon Age, and I'm going the goody two-shoes route, of course. But I can't tell you, like, I usually prefer going with the characters that they preset up. Like with Pillars of Eternity, for instance, I didn't create a whole party of custom characters. Instead, I'm picking up the characters as I go, because I prefer that. I prefer learning about the characters and the backstories and stuff like that. But, I mean, if I had to give an example, I really liked Jack. Really liked Jack. She was great. And I was a big fan of Tali. Of course. So anything like that would be great. That was the last question. That's it. I'm done. I hope I got them all. I will be getting back to you guys about the Fan Friday type thing really soon. There's something else that I'm working on right now that I mentioned before that should be coming up in the next week or two. I've got a lot of big plans. I've just not been able to get them completely set up yet. So, yes, I'm in a bit of a slump with the channel and where content is concerned, but I think things are going to be looking really good really soon. So there you go. I'm done. If you have any questions, leave them below in the form of comments, and I'll try and get to them in the next 2 weeks. Check back here soon for the next Q&A. Give this one a like, share it, and all that good stuff. Most importantly, though, happy leaving those questions and happy making them good. Happy that.